everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. So I just wanted to give you some news right now that is happening. So today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022, 21, sorry. It's not 22 yet. And I just wanted to come here and speak about this mayor of Gila Blends. I think that's how you pronounce it, Gila Bend, Arizona. So the mayor there just declared a state of emergency over the border crisis. And let me tell you something, guys, because I don't know what is going on. Why is this not being controlled? Like, they were, I don't understand what the president is doing that is not controlling this. These people are being dropped off in towns that are bordering, the Mexico with the US. They're being dropped off, and the mayor and the city has to deal with it. And this mayor, Mayor Chris Rigg, said that within 72 hours he will have to drop off all the detainees, illegal immigrants that came into his city, because obviously they cannot keep them detained for longer than 72 hours. And besides all of that, they're sending a lot of buses full of migrants being dropped up in the city. Like, imagine, like, I know every city in here in the US has their own little like park and town green and things like that. Imagine just having this bus just show up and just dropping all like 50 people, who knows how many they're dropping at once. And these people that are coming by the busload, they have nowhere to go. And then this mayor had to declare a state of emergency because they don't have the funds. He was saying he doesn't even have a hospital in town to check these people for COVID testing and things like that. And let me just tell you something, because this topic can get very complicated looking at it from a perspective of a Christian person. I am a Christian. I do, I understand we have to be loving and caring, and, we have to, love our neighbor like ourselves and things like that. But, and there's no but actually. Actually, I'm just gotta say things you have to do. There are things that you have to do to follow the law. And the issue about giving somebody work that perhaps they don't have their all the legal papers done just so that they can put food on the table, like, I understand that 100%, because a lot of these people that are coming, everybody wants to say they're all criminals. They're not criminals, okay? These people are escaping maybe really bad conditions where they're living, so that's why they have to do and venture out and come here and face everything that's happening. You guys have seen the photos of the border and how they have these kids sleeping in cages with this aluminum foil type looking type of sheet that they give them so they can keep warm. I It's so hard to see that, guys. I don't know if you anybody here watching this right now seeing the movie Children of Men. By the way, that's one of my favorite movies, Children of Men. And everything that's happening in this year and the year that passed, it reminds me, it brings me back to that movie, especially now more than ever, seeing the cages and seeing the kids detained, and this, having all the migrants. There's so much, I don't even know what to call it. In that movie, Children of Men, guys, there's so much stuff that is, I mean, that you can relate to right now. And it's not that they just gave you some type of saying, like, when 9/11 happened, people were saying you will see the twin towers like everywhere, and they were being destroyed like in a lot of movies, but you didn't think nothing of it. So when Children of Men came out, it was, I believe it was 2006, 2005, not sure, but it was so futuristic. It took place in a futuristic year. I think it was, I don't even know, 21 or 22, maybe this year. And now to see the whole thing happen, the chaotic on the streets, the migrant issue right now. Um, it is just sad, because when I saw that movie, I was like, that looks like a really sad world to live in. If you guys, I mean, I'm talking too much about the movie. I hope you guys seen it. It's called Children of Men. The main character was Clive Owen. So his character, he looks so depressed just going to work. Um, and I was like, wow, that must be a really hard, sad life to just kind of just be living and not really enjoying life. And everything that's been happening lately is kind of hard to cannot take your eyes away from it because it's so real. It's so in our backyard. To see the town of Arizona declaring a state of emergency because they are having both loads of migrant legal immigrants being dropped off. And I understand, guys, these are just people looking for help, but I do feel like the government needs to take responsibility and do something, okay? Because I told you guys, I mean, I made a video about, the Bible verse where God says, He says, that you will always have the poor. And I felt convicted about that because here, where I am right now, my studio in downtown Denver, you see a lot of people who are homeless and they're hanging around the green, like around here where I'm located. And one day I was coming and they were all near like my entrance, and I was like, why are they still here? This is so annoying. I can't believe I have to go through them. I don't know who has COVID or who doesn't. And God convicted me, and he reminded me of that verse. It's the verse where the lady takes the bottle of perfumes and is washing Jesus' feet with her hair too. And the disciples were mad at her, saying, you should sell that. You're wasting the perfume because you can sell that and give it to the poor. And then Jesus said, the poor you will always have. And I remember that, that's not a complete verse, but I remember that specific phrase, the poor you will always have. And I was like, wow, you know, there's always going to be a need. There's always going to be somebody out there who you can help. And you always have to remember this thing, guys. At the end of the day, these are just people created by God who are in a crisis. And a lot of people can say, get all those people, criminals out of here and things like that. They don't belong here. I have to pay so much to come here, to come to do my visa and to be able to get my kids in here. I don't like them. It's almost like you immediately become this type of level, like I'm better than them and things like that. Besides the government crisis about the migrant situation, the border, and besides towns declaring state of emergency, you have to remember at the end of the day, these are just human beings who needs help. This is why it's so hurtful to see to see the kids sleeping in the cages. It is crazy to me that the only thing they're giving is that piece of aluminum type of sheet to cover themselves. I mean, we have this country is known. Okay, let me just say this because I was not going to talk about this. This country is known to reach out a hand whenever there's a need. When the Haiti thing happened, the earthquake, people were loading up. I mean, I remember creating like fundraising for that. And what I mean, the Americans are known for that. I mean, I was born in the Dominican Republic, and I will never forget working with some missionaries that came from the US. And I was like, these people are so giving. You know, they love God, and they were there, and they were, struggling with the Spanish, but it was like they will give you something, then they will give you more and more. And I was like, what is it, these American people, they just want to give you something. And I was like, that's such a gift. To be a giver is such a gift, guys, especially when you do it without having to want anything in return. And this country is known for that, and the culture, the American people are known for being givers. And to see all these kids in these cages sleeping like that, I mean, couldn't they just call, like, couldn't where is the big corporations that were supported during this whole pandemic? Where is the Walmart corporation supplying blankets? What happened with the big, Kohl's department store, and like any big company that is able to provide something for these people? Where is the American Red Cross giving these people like something? Because the fact is, we all know they're not helping because of this. The fact that the mayor of Arizona, one of the towns in Arizona, had to declare emergency to be able to get the funds for it, that tells you guys there's not a corporation that's willing to help out. But I guarantee you something, guys. If there's, I mean, God forbid, I'm not wishing anything. We don't want any of this. If there is an earthquake overseas, they're going to be sending loads and loads of, these big ships full of food, full of water, and they need this, they need the other, and 1-800 number, we're going to get all these celebrities to call out for them. These people made it here to the US because they are escaping an issue that they're having. Besides their besides their legal status, guys, you have to remember that at the end of the day, these are just human beings who are in need of help. There are the people standing outside there trying to get help, and you know, not everybody's a criminal, but you have to remember these people don't have jobs, they don't have the proper documentation to work. And I feel for the young ladies, the young kids, the young girls that are coming, because we all know predators are everywhere, even with boys too. That's another crisis on its own, and the need to have a shelter and to have food or something. You know what can happen, anything can happen. So we have to pray for them. We have to pray for this town that are facing this type of emergencies, because they're having all these people being dropped off, um, that are in need of work. And I know the homeless churches are gonna get packed up with all these people, and crimes are going off crazy. People are hurting each other on the street. I mean, the Asian are being attacked because of the coronavirus. How stupid is that? Just because you look Asian, they're gonna attack you. That's just crazy. And this is another crisis that's coming, and it's already here. But once they start bringing more and more of these migrants to our cities, it's going to create another crisis. So I feel like the government has to take over and do something. I really don't think we should deny the help. I don't think we should deny the help at all. I think if anything, we should be able, like, okay, if you're going to send them to, let's say, to my house, at least provide what I need to make sure that I'm helping them. Don't just send the bosses and drop them off and be like, okay, good luck, everybody. Like, if you really wanna do that, because the patrol cannot house them anymore, they cannot keep them detained. Like, at least you know provide for that. And I really hope that a big corporation is able to rise up and do something too, because we all know the minute something happens overseas, the American people are the first one to join in and donate. So we should also be able to take care of what's happening right here in our soil. And we're so quick to say, these are all criminals, they're illegals, they're criminals, and things like that. There are also people who are victim of their circumstances. Look what happened last year. I'm sure not everybody wanted to lose their job, but it just happened. So you have to think about that before you speak. You have to think about that, because you just never know. I mean, life has an interesting way of reminding you that it can one day happen to you. I mean, this is what life does. It circles around. What you think it could never happen to you can happen to you within, like, who knows. And if it doesn't happen to you, it happened to your generation, to your kids that are growing up. And then you remember. And that's the thing, you always remember. So I think we should have more compassion the way we speak about these people, because at the end of the day, we are all created in God's image. We are all His children. Just because they don't have their proper visa doesn't mean that they're better than you. That that they're less than you, and that you're above them. Just because you have something that they want. Because guess what happened? The minute you cross over the other border, you don't even have, like, you're not a citizen of that country. They are. People always have to remember that. Just because you're here doesn't make you, like, better than them. If anything, we should be looking at this as an opportunity. But I do feel like the government, like, needs to step it up and do something more than just providing, like, legal status. Like, do more, because this is a pandemic year. We're still living through this whole pandemic, so who knows how long this is gonna be. It's hard to find jobs, to enroll all these kids in school. It's gonna be hard. Schools are already struggling with, some of them are over capacity. and some of them, are going to be even more over capacity because the social distancing that they have to enforce because of the pandemic. So anyways, guys, let's just pray for this situation that's happening. Like I said before, there's a lot going on. I feel like something has shifted. um so let's just keep praying, guys, keep praying and fasting. So thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. Hope everybody's having a great night. God bless.